How you doing, YouTube? Matt, Massive Beer Reviews. I'm here drinking beer with this guy named Joe. How you doing, Joe?
Good.
Yeah.
How are you?
Joe used to do this.
I did.
He's too big time for fucking beer reviews now.
Too good for this now. Too mainstream.
Too mainstream. Fucking hipsters. Yeah.
I was doing this before it was cool.
He was doing it before it was cool. I was doing it before it was cool because guess what? It was never cool.
No. No, it really wasn't.
It wasn't. I will stop doing it before it's cool. Yeah, I mean, you know, if you watch my channel or do BeerTube and stuff, chances are you've seen Joe. Joe did it for a while. We did a bunch of reviews together, and now he's left this world because he's actually making the beer.
Yes.
And it's got to be a weird thing to actually sit there and kind of just talk shit on people's beers all the time when you're actually making it anymore. It's a little
that's kind of like one of the reasons that I stepped away from it. Another being I would go on a kick of doing reviews. Like, I would do a shit ton of reviews, and then I'd post one every day for a week. And I wouldn't do anything for like 3 months. Yeah. You know? I'm like, it's just step aside.
Step aside and let the people who don't know what they're doing handle it. But he's back for a couple on location funness reviews. We're doing 3 tonight. We did 2 already. We're finished up with this sucker. This is Demented Brewing. It's a part of a series that was given to me by my buddy Keith. Thank you very much, Keith. He gave me 3 of these beers from Demented. They're out of New Jersey, and I reviewed one of their beers already. It was their Belgian Strong Dark and Brandy Barrels, and I'm going to let you in all secret. That thing was fucking delicious. So, high hopes going in this one. This is a Scotch ale aged in Scotch barrels.
Okay. And I feel like I'm thinking of another brewery that Brad brought us from, like, down south somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know what that brewery is off the top of my head, but it's reminding me, like, the Demented is reminding me of that.
Yeah, I don't remember.
I don't know.
I think he's stroking out or something.
Yeah.
Anyway, this is called their Orcus. Scotch ale, aged in Scotch barrels, Middlesex, New Jersey, 10% alcohol by volume, chugger. This is bottled on January, February, March, April, May. Like, I need to count because 5/20/2016. So we're looking at, what is that? 5, 6, and 7 months old. Because this is almost the 20th of December. Bottle 392 of
something
left flank. So we have no idea.
Maybe that was the last one.
And yeah, probably could be. And on the side here it says, a collaboration with Wales Homebrew Club. This wee heavy is named after the god of underworld from which the killer whale's name was derived. This big brew is truly delicious and drinks way smoother than any wee heavy should enjoy. So it's very modest, this beer. Yes. Yeah, label-wise it's okay. The label doesn't blow me away. I like it. It kind of reminds...
It's nice and it's like the kind of...
a Norwegian metal kind of way. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I dig it, but at the same time, you know, it is what it is. You know, it's Scotch ale. That can go a couple different directions. It could be super peaty and smoky, or it could just be traditional wee heavy malty.
Yeah, I mean, the peaty and smoky is kind of how we Americans think Scotch ales should be, even though they're not really.
Usually don't like them that way.
Yeah.
Scotch, and it says Scotch barrel. What kind of Scotch barrels? I have no idea. There's so many different kind of Scotches. To me, Scotch barrels are one of the more impactful barrels out there.
Is that like, that was, I think, something you said you don't particularly like. You like Scotch, but you don't typically like things in Scotch barrels? You
know what? I'm changing my tune on it. I've had quite a few Scotch barrel aged stuff that I don't know if it's more my tastes are changing or they're just barreling the way I like them to be barreled, but I'm getting down with it more than I usually do. I pre-cut this a little bit because I didn't know you didn't want to let me watch through the
that's pretty thick wax.
Yeah, it was super. The last one took me like heavy duty shit to get through it, so that's why I got it off so quick. So yeah, I know I didn't give you the whole 5-minute struggle treatment that you love so much. So
padding the runtime of these.
Yeah, you gotta get those minutes up because everybody loves my 15-minute fucking reviews. So yeah. Yeah, I mean, not much of a head there. You wouldn't expect much of a head based off of the beer style and the fact that it's barrel aged. And color-wise,
it looks like I got a little wax in there.
Well, that makes it work better. Come on now. Stop your bitching and moaning. It looks like it has a subtle kind of opaqueness to it. It's like, doesn't look super hazy, but it looks like it has a little bit of kind of haze to it, a little particulate kind of funkiness.
Yeah.
going on. But I mean, it's spot on what I like my wee heavies to look like. Whether some of my favorite Scotch ales, I know Backwoods comes to mind.
Yeah, I was gonna say it does have it reminds me a lot of Backwoods Bastard.
Yeah, color wise, it's that deep, rich, dark brown caramel kind of vibe going on in there. So yeah, it looks the part. There's definitely some wax in his. Mine. Wonder how that happened. So let's try to get a nose in this. See if there's anything to talk about. Caramel, fucking heaven. That is.
Yeah, slight smokiness. Nothing overpowering.
Yeah. I'm getting caramel. I'm getting.
Could also be the heavy. There could be the heavy caramel that I'm getting the smokiness from.
I'm getting like latex Band-Aid.
Okay.
Which to me is a Scotch thing. You know what I mean? Because to me, really good Scotch tastes like rotten leather, or leather, rotten bananas, and Band-Aids. Okay. It sounds horrible, but it's really delicious.
It makes it sound so appealing.
And I get this weird kind of like non-tart green apple thing.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, mostly what I get is the caramel. And like I said, it's gone now. But initially when I was smelling it, I got a very, very subtle smokiness to it. Yeah,
I'm not getting... I think I understand where the smoke is coming from. Like you just said here now, like you're into whiskey, but you don't drink a ton of Scotch whiskeys. I'm getting... I'm getting a non-Islay peat mossy Scotch. I'm getting more of a Highland Scotch. I'm getting more of a Speyside Scotch. I'm getting that kind of stuff. And from that, it's like that's what I'm getting. And I can get why that would be thought of as smoky. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but like I said, it's very, very subtle. And now it's gone.
Yeah.
I'm not getting it.
It's not anymore, or only when you smell it. You mean?
No, like initially when I smelled it, I got it, and now when I'm smelling it, it's not there.
Yeah, so I'm getting caramel water mixed with like a Highland kind of Speyside kind of Scotch, with a little kind of like non-tart kind of appley thing going on in there, and then like a little Band-Aidiness, which is that I get that that's an alcohol ester kind of thing going on, and I get that from Scotches a lot. So yeah, it smells really good. It doesn't smell nearly as impactful. It doesn't smell like 10% fucking beer.
No.
Let's put it that way. Not at all in any way, form, or fashion. Yeah. Danger, Will Robinson. We have a fucking roofie and a glass going on right now. So let's dive in, see what she's got. Cheers. That's fucking delicious.
Yeah. Yeah, it is.
That's fucking delicious.
Yeah. Nothing. All right, review's done. It's great.
No, it's fucking delicious. Is it a wee heavy? Sure. I think a lot of the barrel and Scotch is carrying the beer here a little bit more. Like the beer's a little bit thinner than I want it to be, and the wee heavy's definitely there. And there's caramel abounds, but that smokiness that you get, I'm getting it now, and it's it's a cool, fun, non like Rosh beer kind of smokiness. It's more of like
I'm getting almost smokiness. like a burnt kind of
like a burnt caramel, like you burnt you definitely,
which I think is what as I associated it with the heavy caramel smell. So now that I'm getting, I'm like, it's like burnt sugar almost.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is with wee heavies and Scotch ales, I've noticed a lot of times they can get a bit thinner than you'd want them to be, especially when it comes to barrel aging. It can happen from time to time with backwoods and beers like that. So it's almost par for the course with the beer style for it to get a little bit thinner than I want it to be. Because when you look at it, you look at the ABV, you think about how it's brewed, you start to think of, okay, it's 10% English style beer, so then you start to be like, okay, it's kind of like a darker malted barley wine. So you kind of expect those kind of mouthfeels and flavors from it. But what it really is a really stripped out, non-bittered fucking, like, it's like if you were to make like a Russian Imperial Stout, except you took all the bittering away, and you took like the mouthfeel away. I don't know. That sounds horrible. It sounds like I'm shitting on the beer, but it's like I don't know how like. What's the origin of Scotch ales? Do you actually know? Do you ever look into it? Actually, I know I've heard it, but I couldn't
there's
speak
different
to it.
denominations of Scotch ales, and that was all I believe. It was what they were taxed at. So you'll see like
The shilling,
like the shillings, and then a wee heavy would have been the biggest. Would have been the most like kind of the most expensive. So in a similar sense to like a barley wine. Mm-hmm. It would have been like the highest. If they did it in the same brewing sense that some English breweries did back in the day, which is the party guile system, where you'd run off your first runnings and that's your highest concentration, that's your strongest beer. Then they'd run off some more. It's like your middle of the road kind of. Everybody's drinking this. Then you'd do your last runnings, and that's just gonna, if you're lucky, get to like 1% to 2%, and that's just so you're drinking something because the water's gonna fucking kill you.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
kind of one of those deals.
Yeah.
So I kind of like that could be an origin of this. I could also be completely wrong, but I believe that I'm sort of at least on the right path for that.
No, I remember now that you're speaking to it because I talked about it with a couple people on there before, and I think Brad was one of them or whatever. As far as the Scotch ale thing of it goes, when we were actually doing a Scotch ale that was sent to me, Sierra Nevada did a maple barrel aged Scotch ale, and he was breaking down the whole shilling pence thing, and then someone chimed in on YouTube, but I forgot stuff. Anyway, it's thinner than what I want it to be, and basically what I was trying to say was I've never had like a super super dense barrel aged Scotch ale. Mm-hmm. Some of the Scotch ales I've had that aren't barrel aged, whether it be the big beer series from Spunny Nose, or even in a lesser, greater extent in a simpler beer, Oscar Blues Old Chub. Those have creamy, dense kind of mouthfeels to them for me. When you start to throw barrel aged in the mix, it seems like they kind of lose mouthfeel quite quickly. This suffers from that, but I don't think it suffers badly.
No, I feel like there's as much range as there is to Scotch whiskey, there's almost that much range to Scotch ales. You know? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, no. But as far as balance goes with this, I originally said that like the beer is a little bit smaller than the barrel itself. I'm going to take that back a little bit. I think the beer is really well represented here. I think the barreling is done really well. Like, Scotch barrels can be a little bit off-putting for a lot of people. They can, you get that kind of band-aidy, kind of plasticky thing that I talked about, which I get in the nose and I get subtly in the mouth, but it's not a negative for me, and it can be a little bit too much. To me, this is like really well done. I get the Scotch barrel, I get the Scotch, then I get the barrel, a little bit of char, a little bit of smokiness, and I get the beer, and they're almost equal parts, and the balance is great across all of it. It's absolutely delicious beer. And it's fucking fantastic. It's 2 for 2 at this brewery. I'm to the point now where I'm starting to get a little bit fucking angry that I haven't gone to the brewery yet. Because it's not far away. It's fucking Jersey, and just fucking go there.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Just make a day of it.
Sounds like a plan to me. Yeah, well, I mean, what else you got? Anything else to say about it? Because it's fucking delicious, and I just want to chug it.
Yeah, I mean, if you like barrel-aged beers and you've never really hit Scotch ales because you've been like a little apprehensive, like, oh, I don't particularly like Scotch. Not saying that I don't. I've just not had as much experience with them. But if you're somebody who's not had much exposure to Scotch whiskey and you've been like kind of, I don't know how that would be, I think this would be a good kind of like intro to see if you like it. Because it's not super crazy. It's not off-putting at all. So you could be like blindfolded. You'd be like, "This is another, pick another whiskey."
Yeah. On the flip script of that, I actually think this would be a really fun beer to do with like, if you had like somebody who was in your family or friends or whatever that like loves Scotch. And they're like, I like beer, but I just like darker beers, but I really just like to drink Scotch. And if you were like, hey, try this fucking beer with me, man, I think it would really resonate with that person to be like, oh, wait a minute, okay.
Hold on.
But like, it's Scotch barrel aged, but it gives you enough Scotch to bridge you to the beer to where it kind of just makes you kind of appreciate for what it is. And it's honestly, like I said, I'm like 2 for 2 at this brewery, and to the point now where my wiener's hard. Let's put it that way. I'm fucking excited because, definitely a brewery that, for me personally, if you watch my reviews and the beers that I really like, especially the dark ones, you get, like, you're like, every dark beer Matt drinks that he loves and flips out over, I flip out over the same exact ones, then, you should pick this up because it's
definitely
it's what I like. That's what I like, baby. So yeah, there you go. Another fucking review in the books. Oh, actually, let's talk about it. We gotta do that thing. It's one of the better barrel-aged Scotch ales I've had as of late. It is the best barrel-aged Scotch ale I've ever had.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Yeah, and I love backwoods. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, I got some old backwoods down in the cellar.
Yeah. But the addition of the Scotch barrel to the Scotch ale, I mean, a little bit on the nose there, but it just kind of works for me, and the balance is pretty damn perfect. So, yeah, it is. Valued availability, no idea. It was given to me by Keith. Thank you very much, Keith. So I can't speak to it as far as availability and price and whatever. All you watchers and, I was going to say YouTubers, you watchers and shit out there, chime down below if you knew the price and availability on this fucker. And, other than that, if you like what we like us, if you like Scotch ales or dark beers, and you like, but somebody else likes Scotch and like whiskeys and stuff, and you wish they all had sex in a big fucking, what's that, Caligula? Kind of fucking menage a trois of fucking sexified awesomeness, and then they popped out a beer baby, and then you're like, oh, I wish it tasted like this, then you should try it, because everything I said just made sense. So there you go. There. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. We did or didn't down there, words and stuff. Check us out. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Tap me, Massive Beers, you.
JCowley22 on Instagram and 23 on Twitter. And if you're in the Luzerne, Lackawanna County area of PA, and you can find Ironheart Brewing. That's the brewery I work for. So you can sample my work.
Any PA. Still any PA. Because by the time I post this in about 2 years, I'm sure the distribution will be that far. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you're enjoying a beautiful barrel-aged beer like this right now. Hope to see you next time. Cheers.
Cheers.